Yo, it's your boy Steph J. Millz. I hope all has been well for you guys, man. Everything has been going a lot better for me. I know y'all saw that last video when I said I was going to be on a hiatus. I was going to stop streaming for a while because life was getting rough for me and I had to take a break just to get my life together. But all it took was a little bit of patience, and before you know it, here I am back here within, I believe it was like 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks is when I said... it was about 2 weeks ago when I said that I was going to be done. So it's only 2 weeks later, and here I am back again. Everything's gotten better. My situation is now getting taken care of. You know, this is like, hey, I'm glad that I could be back for you guys, because I know I saw a lot of I did read a lot of comments that you guys posted on the last video I made about the hiatus, and I was like, I was surprised that I was able to impact people like that. Like, people were actually upset and actually like pretty sad when they saw that I was leaving, or saw that I had to go on a long break to get my life together. And everybody was like, oh, I'm gonna miss you so much. You know, they telling me stories about what made them first, what attracted them to me. You know what I'm saying? Like how they started watching me, how they discovered me and all that stuff. And I was really touched by it. I was like, man, it really hit me in a really soft spot. So of course, you know, once everything got better, you know, I had to come back on here just to show you guys that, hey, I'm not gonna forget about you guys at all. I'm still gonna be here. And once things got better, I came right back on stream, told everybody, you know, my situation got better, and then I'm pretty much gonna be here for good, or for until further notice. Like, you know, I'm gonna be here for you guys, and I'm gonna be here to, you know, really pursue that dream that I have in terms of streaming. So as long as you guys continue to rock with me, we can make anything happen, man. So I'm bringing you a short little tutorial. Actually, this is kind of gonna be separate from my actual guides, the episodes that I make. So I'm just gonna consider this like a little standalone tutorial video, which is very, very shorter than how my guides usually are, because they're usually like an hour long, you know. Or I'm doing episodes in terms of like champion matchups, I believe, from now on. So yeah, for future episodes, it's gonna be discussing champion matchups, but then I'll also toss in little mini tutorial videos, you know what I'm saying, about certain things about Camille that maybe you haven't figured out, or certain things that you question me about on stream, like why I do certain things, or why I build certain things, or why do I use certain abilities in a certain way. So I'll drop little mini tutorial videos here and there discussing, like, you know, what it is that I do or why I do it and such things. So in this little short tutorial, I'm actually going to be discussing her hookshot. I believe in episode 2, that was when I discussed a lot of her abilities and her mechanics and such things. I did the little basic basic demonstrations on how to use her abilities in terms of, like, you know, the little basic combos, and then of course hookshot, like you utilizing the flash hookshot as well. So it's like I've never really touched on like the various areas where you can hookshot at. Like, you know, hookshotting over the walls. There's also a lot of walls that you can't hookshot normally, but I believe when you hookshot, like when there's an enemy that you're about to come in contact with on your hookshot, correct me if I'm wrong, but the range of your hookshot doubles, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe it doubles. So there's areas in the jungle, and there's walls that you normally can't hookshot over regularly, but as long as there's an enemy on the other side of that wall, like for instance, this is a solid wall right here. Normally you can't hookshot across this wall across this wall regularly. But if there's an enemy on the other side of that wall, since your range doubles, and I believe your range is actually has more range than the width of the wall, or the length of the wall. So you'll be able to hookshot all through this wall to the other side. Even though normally you wouldn't be able to do it, since your range doubles because an enemy is over there, you'll be able to do that. So I'm going to showcase that. I'm going to showcase the various areas where you'll be able to do that. And mind you, there's certain walls in the area that has like a sweet spot to it that you have to find. So you can't really hookshot through every wall until you find that sweet spot. You know, that little sweet spot where you're able to go through it, you know what I'm saying? And such things like that. So don't mind my build. Don't question me and wonder if this build is viable, because I'm sitting here using this build for more mobility so I can get across the map. I know you can teleport to your cursor as well, but you know, sometimes I don't feel like doing that. I just feel like walking, you know? So for instance, like this wall right here. Sometimes there's a sweet spot to this wall to where you can't really get over that. But for instance, this is just to let you know that there is certain areas like this that you can get over. But there is certain spots in the walls that you really can't get over unless there's an enemy over there. So I'm going to showcase that to you real quick. So as you know, walls that are very thin or walls that don't really have no solid wall behind it or anything, you can easily get through. So there's multiple areas where you're able to get through with no problem. However, here's a perfect area right here. This wall right here. Now, there's a sweet spot here, but normally you can't hookshot in over that wall. I forgot the target dummy was over there. Normally you can't hookshot in over that wall unless there's an enemy over there. Hold on, I just cleared the there we go. So you can't hookshot in over that wall by any means because it's too solid. It's too solid and your range isn't enough to get by it. But like I showed you, or like you just saw, as long as there's an enemy on the opposite side of that wall, your range will double and you'll be able to get over there. Now, of course, enemy positioning is also going to be very vital in terms of where you can hookshot in from. So you can't hookshot in from over here because I believe your range isn't enough to close that distance. However, you have to move over a little bit more to be able to close that distance and get to your enemy. So don't look at it as trying to always aim your hookshot to land on them. Sometimes you're using it just to close some distance on them to get close enough to where you can start, you know, engaging or utilizing your abilities. So don't think that just because you miss your hook shot that, oh, you're going to fail your fight or you're going to fail your trade or you're also going to fail like a fight or some stuff like that. You know, sometimes you can actually just use your hook shot to close distance on them so you can still deal enough damage. So you won't be able to, like, you know, feel like you left empty-handed. You know what I'm saying? So, as I said, there's multiple walls that you can get over. The thin walls are very easy. You have no problem with. Red buff, you can get through this wall actually from over here. There's a sweet spot here, you know, if you know of, that you can get through. But of course, it's very hard. Some walls you can get through, but you can't go through like the same place that you were at. You have to move over a little bit to be able to get back over there, in a sense. So don't mind me if I'm failing these hook shots real quick, because as I said, it's very tricky in terms of trying to find the sweet spot to these areas. So it does take some practice though. So I do recommend you sit in the practice tool and learn these areas in the, learn these areas in the jungle, especially since they're also going to be doing these the changes in the jungle for the next season as well. So I believe a lot more of these areas will be accessible with less of a with less walls or less terrain, because I believe it's the different dragons, right? The different dragons that switch around the areas in the jungle, you know, in terms of like the walls and the open areas and such things like that. So I know when that season does come through, I'm definitely going to be updating these little tutorials as to, like, you know, which areas is really good for, or which areas you should look out for. Now see, I believe in this area you won't be able to hook shot in. Nah, okay, this area is too solid, and also the distance from your normal hook shot is too low. It's too lower. Well, it's too much less than the width of the wall. So this is where moments, like I said before, where you have to have an enemy over there to be able to actually get through that wall. So you won't be able to get through that wall normally. Apparently you can. Actually, I was wrong. You can get through this area normally, which you just saw from that way. But like I said, it was hard for me to get through that wall with the regular hook shot unless there was an enemy over there. So once there's an enemy over there, then it's always a guarantee that I'm going to get across that wall. There's multiple areas where you can be able to do that from. Like for instance, in the Baron area, going straight ahead, like from here to here, you can't get through that area. However, like I said, putting an enemy over there, you can get through that no problem. So yeah, also another little nifty trick that I do want to talk about, something that actually a lot of people has been asking me about, is in terms of there's a certain little trick that I do that I don't think I see that people do pay attention to, is in terms of the way that I hook shot. Now, of course, normally you would think to hook shot you have to aim it at a wall to be able to like land on a wall. So you hit your hook shot on the wall and then boom, you jump from it. Now, there's one thing that I also believe that many people don't really know, is how to like reach the maximum distance for your hook shot. What I mean by that is, there is indeed a sweet spot in terms of the tip of her, the radius of it. Like you see the very tip of it. However, you don't have to aim directly at the wall to be able to connect to it. As long as you aim somewhere close to the wall, like for instance, like right about here, as long as the tip of it is somewhere close to the wall that you're trying to land on, your the tip of it is gonna jump to that wall. Well, oops, I didn't do that right, but okay, so like I said, right about here, as long as the tip of it is close enough to the wall, that you see how it just jumps to the wall. So that is one trick that I always do, trying to make the maximum distance of my hook shot. So I always aim my hook shot close enough to the wall, but not directly on it, to be able to make my distance a lot longer than usual. And there's this nifty trick that I do as well, where whenever I hook shot, whenever I do the little maximum distance, where I aim my tip at I aim my tip close enough to the wall to where it will jump to it, I always take a step back when I hook shot. That also increases the maximum distance in terms of how far you'll travel and how fast you'll be able to move. It also helps you like move a lot faster than usual, you know, in terms of like your travel distance. Like normally if you hook shot like right here, you aim it at the wall and you won't be able to really go that far, you know, like you won't be able to go that far. However, if you step back and then go hit your hook shot at the very tip of it, you'll be able to go a lot farther than you normally would. So it's a nice little nifty trick that I always do from time to time. I don't recommend that you follow every single thing that I do, but the one thing that I do, the one reason why I also do this is because Camille's hookshot has the potential to outplay, well actually counter a lot of CCs, like in terms of stuns, roots, knockbacks, knockups, and suppresses as well. So the key to the step back is delaying the time it takes for her hookshot to land on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like if you just point at the wall like right directly right here, then you're gonna get to the wall as quick as possible. But if I want to delay how quick I get to the wall and how quick I hook shot, that's me stepping back to extend the long reach of it. That way, if somebody were to CC me before the hook shot lands on the wall, I'll still be pulled by it by the time it lands. So there's actually a video, there's a couple clips that I'm going to showcase in this tutorial in terms of showing like perfect examples of how you can how effective that really is on a well-timed hook shot whenever you get like stunned or you get knocked back or such things like that. So, and also just a refresher, of course, the flash as well. There's two types of flashes that you could do with hook shot. If you're not close enough to be able to hit it, or if you're very unsure that you're going to be able to land your hook shot, you can also just flash on top like that. Or you can do the other flash, which personally I believe this version of the flash is longer than the other one, because what you're really doing is that since your distance is doubled already, since your distance is doubled when you're landing on a champion, you're just flashing on top of them to guarantee the hit. Like you're just flashing right on top of them to guarantee that it hits. Somehow it's not hitting there, and I'm not hitting. There we go, that's the hit. However, the other version of it is this one right here, where you're actually flashing right not really when you jump off, but like you're flashing like a second like before it. Hold on, I guess it's better that I show you than to tell you. That one, I feel like that one is longer. Yeah, because that one is actually longer, and that one you're actually able to close distance a lot better. But I don't use that one that often. I don't think anybody uses that one that often. Like this one, you can see that you have like a split second though to be able to jump. Like you have a split second, because it's still, when you're on the wall and you flash from a wall, it still feels like you're on the wall. You see how she still like has the animation that she's on the wall? So you have like a split second to be able to close distance on somebody. So I kind of like that one a little bit, because it's a little bit more trickier in a sense. But you know, a lot of people prefer the regular one where you jump and you land on them. But I feel like this one is a little bit more. See how you can actually get a lot closer? I believe that one is more reliable for closing distance, because remember, if your target is too far, then it's going to register as a normal hook shot. Or sometimes you're not going to be close enough to where you'll be able to flash on them. Like for instance, let me see if I can push this one out a little bit more so I can show you. Because remember, if you're too far from your target, it's going to register as a normal hook shot. Or you see how you're not close enough to it. Oops. But in this one, you see, this one, because of how far the target really is, normally your hook shot's not going to register. But if you do that version of the flash, you'll be able to actually get a lot closer to it. There, see? I see the distance in it now. I guess it's showing you was better than actually explaining it. So, yeah, just a refresher on the hookshot flash. And this showcasing, you know, the reason why I do the step back. and of course areas in the jungle and area and terrain that you can get past from Hookshot. Certain areas that you can't get past because of the solid wall, but as long as the enemy is around there, you're able to get through that with no problem. Now, what I do want to show, I want to showcase two clips from my channel that gives perfect examples of just how effective a well-timed hookshot can really be. So let's move over real quick. If you've seen these clips already, then don't worry about it. But I'm sure you guys are if you guys have seen these clips, you are very aware of just how effective well-timed hookshots are. So let me show you guys for this real quick. For those that haven't seen, you're pretty much going to be amazed at this one. So this is me against a Poppy. Now, let me showcase a well-timed hookshot. I'm going to slow it down for you as well. You see how that hookshot was well-timed for the knockup?
It's been a long time since I last did that.
Now let's replay that, but let's slow down the speed of the video though, so you can actually see just how it really was. Now you see how she charged it up. Now normally you would think that, okay, if she's charging up her ult, I should just ult and be able to cancel it, you know what I'm saying? Cancel it, because remember, her ult is like a silence. So when anybody that's channeling an ability or casting an ability, once you ult them, it just negates it or it cancels it out. So you would think that, okay, Poppy's charging up her ult, so I'm just going to ult to cancel it out. Basic, simple stuff. However, there's other things that you can do in terms of negating people's abilities that have knockbacks and such things like that. So this is something I do for style points. Now, as you see, I still took damage, which was no problem at all. But you see how well timed the hookshot was. I did it at the exact moment that she pretty much like her ult took effect. So I did it at the exact moment, and while I was still knocked back, I hookshot it at the perfect moment to where my hookshot cast was still going off in the middle of that. And as soon as I landed on the wall, I was able to negate the knockback. So that right there is a prime example of how a well-timed hookshot can be very effective against various crowd control abilities. So knockbacks especially. And it's also good for stuns too. If you can do well-time for stuns and roots as well, then you'll be able to really outplay people like crazy. I love this clip, man. I really love this clip too, because it's very stylish. You get a lot of style points when you're able to do stuff like that. Trust me. It's much more satisfying when you have a well-timed hookshot like that. Now, there's another clip that I'm also going to show, and this is against this was another well-timed hookshot against a knockback from Lee Sin. But as you see, I think this one actually is a lot better in terms of like the distance that you can travel when you do it as well. Look at the distance. Look at that length. You would think that something like that's not even possible.
Nah, son. Nah, son.
And I was a little hype on that clip too, because like I said, it's very satisfying when you're able to pull out a play like that. So let's replay that a little bit. Let's lower the speed now so you can see it. See, the well-timed hookshot. I casted my hookshot right in the middle of him hitting this ult on me, and I was close enough to the wall apparently for the hookshot to where it was able to latch onto it. Even though he kicked me that far back, you would think that it's not possible for a hookshot to go that far in length. But I pretty much was able to hookshot from the distance that he kicked me at. So him just kicking me from that point where I hookshot it, it just extended the reach of it to where I was still going to be able to land on it. So it's complicated to explain, but when you see it in play, it's very straightforward. Like well-timed hookshot, even through knockbacks and stuns, you're still able to land on the wall. So those right there are prime examples of just how effective hook shots can be when you have a well-timed hookshot. So this is a little mini tutorial on the hookshot mechanics. I'm definitely sure, I hope that this helps out a lot of people in terms of hookshotting a lot better. being able to time your hook shots very, very well. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini tutorial video that I just surprised you guys with. So thank you guys for watching. I definitely hope that this helps you guys out. So take care of yourselves, be blessed, be safe, and I will be sure to be on the lookout for new episodes, and also be sure to look out for extra tutorial videos as well. So take care of yourselves, be blessed, be safe, and I will see you guys next time, man. Boy, it feels good to be back. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Thank you guys for all the love and support that you guys have given me throughout all this time. Like I said, I will not forget about you guys at all. I'm definitely gonna be motivated to keep coming for you guys. So just continue to rock with me as you've been rocking with me all this time, man. That's all I'm gonna say. So, like I said, see you guys on the next video.